let's talk House, specifically Cameron. We hate Cameron. Okay, we as in me hate Cameron. Let me explain. In the beginning, Cameron was oh so sweet, heart on her sleeve, bleeding heart, cared way too much about everyone. Her boss, House, her patients, her colleagues, everyone. She was very polite. She was extremely professional. And this is how we meet her. This is who we know as Cameron. She starts to fall in love with House, even though House is a complete jerk and has shown her zero affection. But you know how it is. The sweet girl falls for the jerky a-hole guy. That's, that makes perfect sense to me and is within her character. At one point, I want to say it was season 2, maybe 1, I'm forgetting, sorry. In the earlier seasons, House has to fire one of his fellows and he can't do it, so Cameron ends up quitting. Now, to bring her back, House agrees to go on a date with her. This is how gullible she is. She's thinking, ooh, if I date him, if I go out on a date, then what, he'll fall for me or something? Like, again, he has shown her zero interest. And he's like really old. It just didn't make any sense. It was painfully obvious to any and everyone that was never going to happen. So the fact that she kind of blackmails him into a date was very desperate, very gullible, very sad, very Cameron. It was within her character. At one point, she has a patient, just a random clinic patient, that has a cough. She ends up doing a couple tests and finds out that this patient has lung cancer. This patient, unfortunately, doesn't have any family, no kids, nothing. So she feels so bad. She doesn't even want to tell her that she has cancer. She ends up spending a lot of her time just talking to her, becoming friends with her. And Dr. Wilson had to set her straight, like, look, it's not worth it. It's like, nip it in the bud. Tell her what it is. Be her doctor. You're not her friend. And move on. Wilson knows. Wilson is a sweetheart, another bleeding heart, but, fast forwarded a few years. He knows how it is. He knows that pouring into each and every one of your patients will kill you in the end. So he's like, look, save yourself. Stop it. Don't do that. Be her doctor. Tell her what's wrong and move on. Cameron, again, being this bleeding heart that she is, she can't do that. She says, I understand what you're saying, but someone needs to remember her. And she sticks to her guns. She does tell her that she has cancer, but I mean, she tries literally any and everything not to tell her. She's trying to do all these kind of tests. Maybe it's something else. She's in denial. Like, she went above and beyond for this patient that she didn't even know, just a random person that walked into the clinic. So they're showing in all of these different aspects how Cameron is as a character. And you get it. She is very gullible. She is very, very sweet. She's young. She's naive, loving, very loving. And again, very respectful of her colleagues, very respectful of House, even though he's a huge jerk. So yeah, this is her character. This is how we're introduced to her. Then let's fast forward a few seasons. She decides to hook up with Chase. It was by accident. She was on drugs. That's a whole nother story. But whatever, they decide to keep it going. And she's suddenly acting like she doesn't have any feelings whatsoever. Like, she's just this cold-hearted, yeah, I could sleep around and it'll be just fine. I have no feelings. Like, she's this person all of a sudden. Who? Where'd that come from? She started sleeping with Chase in patients' homes, like in their bed. There was one episode where there's a gentleman who they were doing a sleep study. So he's asleep and she's like, hey, you want to go in one of the rooms? Like, what? When did she become this huge freak? And then, okay, even if she has always been a freak, when did she become this detached freak? Because at one point, Chase says, you know what, I actually really like you. I think this could go somewhere. And she's like, yeah, no. Nope, nope, no, stop it, no. And is like, this is sex, this is all this is. And it just, for me, it didn't fit her character. She was gullible and naive enough to think that house would fall for her, but now all of a sudden, she has zero feelings and she wants to sleep with Chase and just be like, okay, we're friends. What? That's not the same person. She went all out for a patient, a clinic patient she didn't even know. But then she sleeps with someone and doesn't care. And yes, I know what you're thinking. It's a defense mechanism. Yes, she truly does care, but she's just trying to show that on the outside. Okay. Even if I went with that theory, she doesn't ever show that. She just shows that she's upset that he wants to pursue a relationship with her. Like, she was showing that she was genuinely upset and didn't want to have anything to do with him. That was so out of character. If they had shown her like going home and being like, you know, I really do like him, I don't know what I'm doing, or something like that, that would have helped me to kind of wrap my brain around this whole Chase thing. But she legit was like upset that he wanted to move to have something with her. I'm like, you're sleeping with this guy. What? You have no feelings now? Since when? So whatever. They eventually get together. Fast forward to a few seasons later. I want to say season 6. I'm not sure. But she finds a ring and knows that Chase wants to propose. So then she starts avoiding him. Naturally. Her decisions make no sense to me. Like, she's avoiding him because this is around the time that Kuttner had just... Everyone was still a bit on edge. So she didn't want this to be a knee-jerk reaction to what happened with Kuttner. I guess she wanted him to propose because he really did love her and want to spend the rest of his life with her. I feel like if you're in a relationship with someone, you probably already know that before they propose. I don't know, call me crazy. It just, and even if she did feel that way, the way she was going about it was just wrong. She starts to avoid Chase and focus on this case with House. So everyone is thinking, oh, she's still in love with House. She wants to be with House. Like, she's giving him the wrong impression and she doesn't even care. And House deduces from that she wants Chase to break up with her. And I'm like, is it that serious that you just want him to break up with you? You don't even want to have a conversation with him? Make it make sense. And I get it. They need to have some sort of conflict for the story. Okay, cool. Do it in a different way. This was the most infuriating way to create conflict. Like, all she needed to do was have a very short conversation with him. Or all she needed to do was use her brain. Like, do you not know who you're dating? You don't know that they want to spend the rest of their life with you? Like, you guys have never had a conversation about marriage ever? It didn't make sense to me. And again, it didn't seem aligned with her character in the first few seasons. Like, it's just a completely different person now. I feel like someone who is naive and sweet and has their heart on their sleeve and is a bleeding heart would be more of the communicative type to say something to him, to have a conversation, to not want him to dump her. Like, that just seems so far off the deep end. Like, you don't even want to be with him anymore and you didn't have a conversation with him? What? The way she did Chase was just so dirty. So again, this is why we hate Cameron. And then in that same episode, she, who is normally very, very respectful and is never disrespectful to authority, suddenly is talking to Cuddy like they're peers, which was, no. That's not what Cameron would do. Very out of character. The scene goes, Cameron is avoiding Chase, and she's spending way too much time with House's team, dealing with House's patients. So everyone in the hospital is now thinking she's still in love with House. And Cuddy, who clearly has feelings for House, everyone kind of knows except for them. Cuddy goes up to Cameron and she's like, look, I don't know what you're doing, but you shouldn't be with House. I shouldn't be with House. No one should be with House. Go on this trip with Chase, you know, do what you're supposed to do. And here goes Cameron with all kind of attitude, like, you know what? You don't even care about me and Chase. You are just worried about, like, this is your territory you're worried about. You're worried about me and House. And I'm like, girl, with the attitude to a superior. No. I don't see that happening. Cameron in seasons 1, 2, and 3, maybe 4, would not have done that. Before you say anything, yes, characters evolve, they change, people evolve and change, but you don't turn into a completely different person. Like, you're still you. If you're a bleeding heart, you're kind of always going to be a bleeding heart. Again, like with Wilson, Wilson is a bleeding heart as well. But after years and years and years of being that way, he knows how much to pour into someone and how much not to. He's still a bleeding heart, though. With Cameron, now all of a sudden, she's just this cold-hearted that just talks to her superiors any kind of way, doesn't speak to her partner, wants him to break up with her. It just didn't make any sense to me. That was not her character. They turned her into this. They did not turn her into a good person. And again, it's not, for me, it's not a character development that made sense. Because yes, one could argue, well, she's been working with House. House has hardened her. Not really. She was still pretty much a bleeding heart for all of her patients and went above and beyond for her patients. So I just don't see her like putting up this huge wall of like, okay, I'm going to be like this way with my patients all the time, but with everybody else, I'm just going to be cold-hearted and whatever. I don't see it. It didn't make sense to me. We hate Cameron. So yeah, that is my We Hate Cameron rant. I really wish maybe they would have stuck with the same writer or something, or maybe have given her a little bit more of an under, like a backstory or something, some way where we could understand why she was acting the way she was acting, because it rubbed me the wrong way and it made me not like her. Thanks for listening. And if you liked it, then subscribe, and I'll come with more hate, more love, more TV, more movies. That is my thing. Reels with Niche. And I love movies.